Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. So, I'm doing a live stream. It's basically to talk about, let's just get everything up. I think I'm going to be, using kind of just use YouTube Studio for seeing the live chat. Actually, you know what? I could, I guess, use, no, I guess I'll use YouTube Studio. It doesn't really matter. So, yeah, before I start like a, Q&A and everything about the CorePhone and things like that, I want to talk about some news. Um, basically, how, um, what's been going on in the news, because I haven't really talked about, tech or anything. I haven't done a talking about tech episode for like 2 months or so, or 1 or 2 months. And so I kind of wanted to do one, and there's a ton of news. So I did want to start with this because this doesn't seem like that interesting of a thing. Um, I just realized that the CoolPad Cool S, um, this new phone, they're using the exact same supplier that I used for my CorePhone regular edition. Completely true. Okay, here I'll just explain. So, let's actually go on to Alibaba, and I wanted to show you this because was like so confusing me. I was like, this is the exact same phone that I was considering for like the CorePhone 2, but now I can't, obviously, because someone already made the phone out of it. So let me just show you. It's the exact same phone. Maybe there's actually no, there's no differences. It's literally the exact same screen, exact same camera. Literally everything's the exact same. So let's go to Kaleo, because that's the supplier that I used for, basically Kaleo's the one that I used for the CorePhone regular edition, not the Master Edition. The Master Edition I used Emblue. Kaleo does have their own website, but I just like using Alibaba to, scroll around through all their products more. But they're basically the exact same thing. It's just that I always like to use Alibaba because, all my stuff is on here and, you know, things like that. So if I, wanted to use, if I wanted to go on something else on here or something like that, I don't know. I just think it's more easier to just do that. So let's go to, where would it be? It's probably not on this screen, but I do want to show you that it's the exact same phone. I think they're using the exact same supplier. Here it is. Here we go. Um, so I don't see a difference between these two. Maybe there's a slight like difference in there's like different kinds of colors in the kind of the area where the camera bump is area, that area. But okay, so let's look at this in the CoolPad Cool S. So CoolPad Cool S has a, okay, let's first off start with the main specs, like a 6.53-inch display that's Full HD plus. Okay, let's look here. 6.53-inch Full HD plus screen. Okay, that's the first thing. And let's see what else. 48 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, where is it? And then a 5 megapixel macro right there. 25 megapixel front camera. And yeah, literally everything's the same. Maybe I think the oh yeah, that's the only difference. Only difference is that 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but besides that, literally the exact same phone, even the exact same wallpapers. Look at this. Exact same wallpapers. You see that? You guys see? So that was going to be the CorePhone 2. Can't, I mean, I might as well just show you now because, you know, I just, there's like basically no point of, you know. Anyway, I want to see if I'm actually like, it says that there's an error with some sort of streaming. Seems fine to me, so I'm not sure. I want to see if I'm actually like, let me just switch to like, I want to see, okay, it is a little bit laggy, but it's not like that bad. It's probably because I'm going on there. So let's just exit out of that. But you could see it's the exact same phone basically. I think the only difference, the two differences, are the first difference is that the camera layout looks not just where like there's a little bit of a darker area and then a lighter area, so that's like only difference. And then yeah, it is literally the exact same phone that I was going to make for my CorePhone 2. So yeah, I mean that's just, I don't know why they. I mean, I guess they're a good supplier, so I mean, I just can't use them anymore. But here I'm gonna share some of the streams so more people can get a hold of it and stuff like that. So then there could be like a Q&A and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then they could also tell me if there's like any problems with the stream or blah 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 blah. Okay, so I guess I'll just put a link. Okay. Um, let's see what else I could. Oh, okay. I'll also put it in here. There you go. All right. Um, so there's some other news too. Probably some of the biggest news is, let's see. I mean, I have. Oh, yeah. This is probably the biggest news for today. In my opinion, I would say this is pretty big news. Motorola just released 4 new phones actually, even though it says 3 here, but there's a fourth one called the Motorola One Ace. In my opinion, some of these are actually kind of good. Motorola G Stylus is okay. Um, Now, if it was cheaper, maybe, something like 250 or $220 would be okay. But right now I wouldn't recommend it, but it's still an okay phone. Moto G Stylus has a 6.8-inch 1080p display, which is absolutely massive. Like, that's actually bigger than my OnePlus 7 Pro and bigger than, like, just most phones, basically. And what's cool is that, yeah, it has a stylus, and we needed, like, more competition between, the Note series um, and the others. So I think that's going to be pretty good that they're, making new stylus phones. And a Snapdragon 678 is actually not that bad. I also want to see. Yeah, I would say if Amazon they put it down to like 250 or 220, then it would be pretty good. Um, Now I would say that the only problem that I would have is probably a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, that seems like pretty big, but for a 6.8-inch 1080p display, that's not that great. And plus, it's LCD and things like that, so I don't think that's that impressive. And also that you could just get the Poco X3 for like 250 or 270 or whatever, and it would be a better phone than this. I mean, unless you want a stylus, but I don't know if people really like badly need a stylus, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, yeah, I would prefer, I mean, maybe I would want a stylus, but I don't like need it or anything like that. So, the Moto G Power, I'm not really that impressed by. Even though there are some pretty good things going for it. I do like the new kind of design that they have here, like the new kind of design. It looks a little bit more. I don't know how how you'd say this. It looks more kind of iPhone like, just the sides. Not exactly, but it definitely looks like more uniform. I don't know if that's just me, but it could just be me. Um, and yeah, actually looks a pretty good phone. If it was cheaper, it's really not that great. If for 200 bucks or even 150, I don't think it would be that great. Um, Not because it's a bad. I just think that I don't know if I would buy it. I mean, it's okay, but I guess it's fine, but I don't know if I would fully recommend it because of 720p display. Um, and then there's the Moto G Play, and that actually has a 13 megapixel main camera. What's surprising is that there's 1080p 60 FPS video, so that's actually kind of good. Um, and there's a notch, and it is, what does it say, 170? If you had to choose between the Moto G Play and the Moto G Power, I would 100% choose the Moto G Power. It's literally like 30 bucks more to buy, the Moto G Power, and you're getting a lot more. So that's just my opinion. And yeah, but now let's talk about the Motorola One Ace. I'll just talk about it. Basically, it's $399. It's pretty good. It has a 60 hertz display. It's basically the Motorola One 5G that we saw. I think it was earlier this year. Oh, hey. Yeah, it was like the same. It was basically the same kind of phone. Um, it was basically the same kind of phone as the Motorola One 5G. The only difference is that it's 60 hertz and it's fully unlocked. I think that's the only difference. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure that's the only. It may be cheaper. I think it's also cheaper. Yeah, it's $399. I think the Moto G 5G. Yeah, it's basically the exact same phone. Um, there's basically no difference. Oh yeah, it's Snapdragon 750G. So I wouldn't recommend the phone. I would even actually, and this is probably the biggest news. I'm actually really surprised with the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. So when the OnePlus Nord N10 5G came out, I was like, why OnePlus? Why did you do this? And so in Europe, it doesn't make any sense to buy it. It's 430 bucks. Why would you buy the core phone? I mean, why would you buy the OnePlus N10 5G for 430 bucks? It's not a great deal. But the OnePlus Nord N10 is now 299 bucks, and you can actually find it for a little bit cheaper. Like you can find it for 289 on eBay or whatever, and still completely new. So for that price, it's actually pretty good, and it's not like competing with my phone, so it's not like that big of a deal. It's for 299 or 289, so it's not like I could recommend the Nord N10 if you want if you want to pay more. But I'm just saying uh, that it's pretty far from the phones that I'm selling right now. I did just sell the CorePhone Master Edition. So basically, that's no longer available. I actually just shipped it out to him about 3 or 4 hours ago. It's fully shipped and everything's pretty great with that. That should be arriving to him in like 2 to 7 days. I'll give you an update on that. It's been shipped, and then I'll tell you if maybe I'll buy more or maybe I won't. So yeah, and basically, I think that the Nord N10 is now a really good phone now. Like, okay, it was pretty. It was It's not okay. It's not really a really good phone because there's still some major problems with it. The screen isn't bright enough. There's no alert slider, which is really weird. The build sucks. Um, there's some other problems. Um, but overall, it's actually not that bad of a deal. Like it has 5G and it's 299. So, and this is coming to T-Mobile. You could actually go onto T-Mobile's site right now, and let's see here. If you go on to T-Mobile's site, then you could actually see. And by the way, actually, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I actually switched to T-Mobile. I might have told you guys that, but yeah, I just wanted to let you know. The Nord N10 5G right here, and then the Nord N100 is somewhere. I didn't see it last time actually here, but now that it's out, you should be able to find it on here. If not, I don't know why, but you guys I think would get the point. It's on here, and the Nord N100 in my opinion isn't that good of a deal, and you should probably just get something like the CorePhone. Like the CorePhone regular edition is pretty great compared to that because it's cheaper, and it has, in my opinion, a way brighter screen. Oh wait, the OnePlus 8T 5G is free on T-Mobile if you add a line. Oh yeah, I so wish that I switched to T-Mobile like now, because I switched to T-Mobile when you could get a free iPhone 12, right? But and I did that little idea where I bought an iPhone 8 from eBay, and then I gave it to them, and then I sold the iPhone 12, so then I could make money, and then I didn't make money, I just bought the Galaxy Fold, which I regret now. I do like the phone, like definitely I like the phone. The phone's interesting. It's cool. But it's not for me, and it's only 60 hertz, and it's Samsung software. I hate Samsung software, so yeah. And in my opinion, I don't think that I wouldn't really recommend buying the Galaxy Fold. Maybe the Galaxy Fold 2, but even then, I don't really think that the Galaxy Fold 2 is even that good of a phone for 2,000 bucks, and even for like 1,400. Like, I would just recommend like a normal phone, right? Now, if you really wanted a cheap, you got the OnePlus 8T 5G. Like, I heard that the OnePlus 8T Plus, I meant the OnePlus 8T Plus is actually pretty good. Like, the OnePlus 8T Plus, I probably actually should have gotten instead of the instead of, the Galaxy Fold. I actually had a pretty negative opinion though of the OnePlus 8T, and that's why I didn't buy it. So I was going to totally buy. I mean, I was totally just gonna buy, the Galaxy Fold, and I did, and I kind of regret that because I probably should have bought the OnePlus 8T 5 Plus 5G because I could have gotten it for well, not for free. Probably wouldn't have got the Plus version because what I would have done is just bought the iPhone 12. I mean, not bought the iPhone 12, traded in from the iPhone 8 to the iPhone 12, then sell the iPhone 12, and instead of buying the Galaxy Fold, just buy the OnePlus 8T, from eBay or just something like that. Because right now it's around 530 bucks or 550 on eBay and things like that. So that's what I probably should have done, but I just didn't, and that was kind of a stupid decision. But the Nord N10 is actually pretty good. I'm pretty surprised how good the N10 is. But yeah, if you can get the OnePlus 8T Plus right now, then I would totally recommend it for 700. How much is it? 749 bucks. But if you, I mean, you can get one free by basically, yeah, trading in. I so wish I could. Did this, like, I switched to T-Mobile. When yeah, I probably should have like bought like a Galaxy S9 and then, but that I couldn't do it now because I already have a line and things like that. So that kind of sucks, but yeah, the plastic screen on the Fold is just really terrible. Like, I do not like the plastic screen on the Fold. Actually, I was so concerned about durability one time is that when I was going to go kayaking for the day, I decided to bring the OnePlus 7 Pro instead of the Galaxy Fold, and this was like the second day that I had the Galaxy Fold. So, yeah, yeah, it's really bad durability. I mean, that's probably actually the main reason, and if they do fix it at some point, I would say I would recommend buying it. Now, the only folding phone that right now I would recommend, which is a surprisingly good deal, and oh yeah, the Galaxy S20 FE is good. I just don't like the Samsung software, but that's good that you got it for free. I mean, people who like Samsung software, I would totally recommend the the Galaxy S20 FE. But yeah. So, oh my God, I was forgetting what I was gonna say. I completely forgot. But anyway, yeah, it's just I wish I got the OnePlus 8T, because the OnePlus 8T is a really good upgrade, and yeah, I just wish I got it, but let's see what else is happening. There's actually a ton of stuff that is happening that I haven't covered. There's tons of phones that have come out. I mean, I could just name like a ton of them. The Realme V15 came out. That one, I mean, I guess I'm impressed by it. It's okay. Um, yeah, there's like, oh yeah, the Mi 11 Lite seems okay. But I would still probably recommend the I mean, not the OnePlus 8T. I would probably recommend, like the what is it called? The Poco X3. I don't know why you wouldn't just get the Poco X3, right? So, yeah, this is there's a ton of different things, and also I'm going to be doing Q&A. I mean, you guys could ask questions about the CorePhone and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I probably should have got the OnePlus 8T 5G, OnePlus 8T Plus. It's like so hard to say. Um, but yeah, I really wish I did get, that instead of the Galaxy Fold. Oh right, I was saying what folding phone I would recommend, because I said that there was one folding phone that I recommend, and I just want to show you on Swappa right now. You can get the Motorola Razr. Just guess your pricing right now. You can literally get the Motorola Razr. I don't know. No, Razr. Okay, there we go. You can get the Motorola Razr for 410 bucks, and actually some of them aren't locked to Verizon. Now, it does say on Verizon, but it's actually Verizon unlocked. Like example here. This one is 410 bucks, and you can get, this is the Motorola Razr for 410 bucks. It's actually insane. Like, okay, it's a folding phone. It will probably break pretty easily, but I would say if you wanted to risk it and, say, you only wanted to keep it as, maybe for like 6 or 7 months or something like that, it would be a pretty cool phone to, check out, in my opinion. Now, there isn't the best specs, but it has come down like by so much that it's like crazy, like insane, how far it's come down, in pricing. I mean, I'm really impressed that it came down to $410, because if you remember the starting price in 2019, or actually I believe the Motorola Razr, the Moto Razr in 2019 actually came out in 2020, but I don't fully know that. But let's actually see. Yeah, 2020 February. So yeah, it's still a 2020 phone, so it's only like it's not even a year old yet. And it's actually, I mean, people were saying the reason why people didn't like this phone because it was overpriced, and they said it had like $400 specs. But now it's $400 and it's folding. So like basically you've got like a pretty awesome smartphone. I would actually probably choose. I probably would have. I probably should have choose the Motorola Razr instead of the Galaxy Fold. I think that the Motorola Razr is just a really cool phone, and even though it has like terrible specs and everything like that, I just think it's kind of cool. um I don't know, I think it would be kind of interesting to see what would happen if I used it. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty interesting. you know this phone is pretty. I would recommend this. This is the only folding phone that I would recommend right now. I mean, there's some other folding phones that are starting to get cheaper, but right now I'd recommend the. Oh, also I got a. Oh, nice! You got a Galaxy Grand Prime for on Android 10. That's actually pretty good. Like, I had a Galaxy Core Prime, and I had it on Android 5.1 or 4.4. I forgot. And I remember I know what the Galaxy Grand Prime is. It's basically like the bigger brother to the Galaxy Core Prime. That's pretty cool how you got Android 10 on it. Um, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, the Motorola Razr is the only phone that I would recommend. By the way, where is my Android 11 update for the OnePlus 7 Pro? It's been almost a month, and no update yet. They said that it's delayed now, so I'm kind of annoyed about that. I really wanted to have kind of a new look on OnePlus's Oxygen OS. Now, I don't think I would like, Oxygen OS 11, but I just want to change. Like, seriously, Oxygen OS right now is kind of boring, and I do agree. Like, you know, at a company at first has to be like stock Android or whatever, but then once it goes on to be a bigger company, then you just put kind of a heavier skin, and I think that's kind of good. Um, I still need the Android 11 update. Yeah, I don't think that the A01 is gonna get Android 11. It might, but I really doubt it, because the A01 is the lowest like phone that basically ever that Samsung made. Like, it's really, really, really low in terms of specifications. It has Snapdragon 439. I mean, it's not that great of a device. I mean, no, it's actually a pretty good device. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I did a review on it. It's pretty good, but I'm just gonna say the specifications aren't good. For the price, it's okay. But what I mean by that is that there's probably not going to be Android 11. Now, what I'm thinking is that maybe they'll probably do maybe 1 year of security updates, and maybe that's it. but they might do Android 11. I mean, I think on the Galaxy A10, I think they did do Android 10, and it started out with Android 9. So I might be wrong. You know, maybe it will get Android 11, but as you can see, yeah, the A10 was available to upgrade to Android 10 from Android 9. So maybe it would be able to get the on the A01. You might be able to get, you know, um, Android 11. You know, maybe they'll do it. I think that they just don't focus on their A series that much. I think that this year the A series isn't really going to be that great. This year, I think the A01 was pretty good. But I'm not really that interested in this year. I think the A02 has come out. Yeah, the A02s, right. This phone doesn't look that great compared to the competition. This is 177 bucks. I think you might be able to find it cheaper, but let's just say 150 bucks. This is not the best deal that you can get at all. So, that's just my opinion. Like, you can get, like, other phones that are way better. So, just my, you know, opinion. And, you don't even have it on your S20 on my FE. That's, like, crazy. Like, the S20 FE I know will probably get, like, 3 years of updates, but still, like, I don't think, it's partially probably T-Mobile's fault, though. Because I think the S20 FE did get Android 11 for some phones, unless, yeah, upgradable to Android 11. So I think it's just T-Mobile's fault right now because, you know, yeah, you could get an S8 for, you know, 150 bucks, but yeah, I really wouldn't recommend, you know, the Galaxy A02s that's gonna come out. It'll probably be really popular, just like the Galaxy A01 and the A10 and the, you know, the other ones, but I just think actually I think the most popular phone that Samsung has right now is the A20. That was a really good phone. Like I actually still have the phone. The A20. It's a really good phone, and I don't actually I think it's still on Android 9. I think so. Could be wrong about that. Um like why don't they put I don't know why they don't do updates. Like if I figure out how to put updates on my core phone, then I would probably do like 4 years of updates. Now, I know it's not fully my decision, but I would do kind of a similar thing to like MIUI, even if Google, you know, doesn't let the processor to, you know, do newer Android versions. I would probably still do like new Core UI versions, if that makes sense, just like MIUI. I don't know. And also, yeah, the M02S came out. So it's basically the same phone as the A02s, except it's for the Indian market, and so it, you know, says different things and things like that. And it has, I guess it has an aggressive price, but I don't know. I wouldn't recommend you buying the A02s or the M02s. Maybe if you're in India, maybe the competition's different. So I don't really know though. So maybe I would recommend at India, but I don't know if I have any viewers in India. I think I do, but not too much. Um, yeah, the S21 leaks are really disappointing. Like I thought that it was going to be at least like pretty great. But comparing the S21 to the S20, it's not an upgrade at all, or even the S21 Plus. Like I would still probably once the S21 Plus or S21 or S21 Ultra comes out, I would probably just recommend people to buy the S20 still. Like I would still totally recommend it because right now on Swappa, I think you can get the S20 for like 500 bucks, which is pretty great. I mean, the S20 Ultra. S20 Ultra you can get for like 500 bucks. 590, okay, 590, and it's on AT&T, but there's probably one that's AT&T unlocked. I don't know. Um yeah, I mean, this is AT&T locked, so I wouldn't even be able to buy it, but for people who were on AT&T or if you're on T-Mobile, then you can get it for like 679, which in my opinion is a pretty good price. So, yeah, 25-watt charging is like so slow. Like 25-watt charging, okay, it's actually not that bad. Like it's pretty good. And I believe it's also on the Note 20 Ultra. The or no, the Note 20 Ultra comes with a 45-watt charger. So yeah, it would be kind of a downgrade, you know, from the the S20 Ultra to, you know, the S21 series. But yeah, but right now you can get the S20 series for like really cheap. I would totally recommend either the S20 FE or the S20 or something like that. Um, yeah, so as you can see, you can get it for pretty cheap. I would recommend that. So, yeah, and then there's some other things like there's some really old news that I haven't covered. The Xiaomi Mi 11 came out and I never covered it. And that phone is pretty good. I have some mixed feelings though. I would say that I would still probably recommend the Mi 10 Ultra maybe. I think that the Mi 11's camera isn't that good at all. I mean it's fine, but it's not, and it's probably good to like most of the competition, but comparing to the Mi 10 Ultra, it's not that good. I would still probably recommend the Mi 10 Ultra. Um, so yeah, and then there's also, you know, the U.S. government banning, you know, tons of paying apps, and uh, and that's kind of sucks because Alipay. I mean, I was never gonna use it, but or WeChat Pay or anything like that. But I feel bad for like the people who use it almost like every single day, basically. Um, there's some people that I'm pretty sure that uses it like every single day, because it's like pretty important, right? So, I mean, I'm assuming it's pretty important to most people who use, you know, I know there's people not in there's probably some people in the U.S. even, but mostly people in China, even though it did say for the U.S., but yeah. And what other news is there? There's tons of leaks. Um, the Snapdragon 480 actually seems pretty good. It seems as good as like maybe the 730G or maybe the 690. Like it actually seems pretty good. And if this actually like comes to a Nord device, I would even say that this is a pretty good chipset. Like this is actually not that bad. Where I would say, you know, it's gonna be like super slow in like a year. Like the Nord N100 is gonna be super slow in a year. I promise. And yeah, and you know, yeah, Samsung's trying to tease the S21 series. We know everything about it. There's literally a hands-on video, like a live hands-on video. Yeah, the iPhone 12 only uses 5G when required. That's like so stupid. Why would why only I don't know why would they do that? Like cuz like you're paying so much for a phone that has a notch and then you're not even getting, you know, 5G. I mean, you're not getting like 5G all the time, you know, if that makes sense. So I just think that's kind of messed up. But yeah. And then what else is there? There's so much different news. It's like crazy how much news there's been since New Year's. Um, I mean, I'm surprised that there's so much news. I mean, I would think that it slows down during this time, but nope, not at all. So yeah. And there's some other news. I don't know. There's a ton of different things that have come out and things like that. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's kind of interesting how they don't usually do limited edition things. Apple. So that's kind of cool how they did a Chinese New Year edition for AirPods Pro. So that's pretty cool. And I don't know what else there is. There's a ton of other stuff that is pretty interesting, some not. Um, I don't. The IQ. Oh yeah, that's actually way more important than the IQ 7. OnePlus teases a smart band that's for like $40, and it's supposed to compete with the Mi Band 5. And I was actually, I was maybe considering buying the Mi Band 5 when I get like a Xiaomi phone. But the thing is that the Xiaomi Mi Band 5 actually has some like battery problems or something like that, or some sort of problem. I forgot what it was, but it was some sort of problem I forgot. But if the OnePlus band's good, then maybe I'll just stick with OnePlus. You know, go with the OnePlus 8T or maybe go with the OnePlus 9 or something like that. Even though I'm not really that impressed, you know, so far with what I've been seeing with the OnePlus 9 leaks or anything like that. So, yeah. Um, my thoughts about the SD card slot not being on the S21 and S21 Plus. I think that's a big deal to a lot of people. Now, in my opinion, I don't use like I don't think that that big of a deal to me, but to most people, I would say that's a pretty big deal. Um, I've been okay with there being no SD card slots in most phones that I own. So I would say that's not the biggest deal, but it is still it's a big downgrade for a lot of Samsung users who are used to you know these things like SD card slots and things like that. And I think it is pretty important for people who need more storage. And if it's only coming with 128 gigabytes, that sounds like a lot. But if you're recording like 8K video, or to make like a YouTube video or something like that, then I think that's going to take up a ton of space, which it does. Actually, someone proved, I believe, or showed that how much space it takes up on Samsung phones. I think it takes like 500 megabytes for like 5 minutes of video. So it's like a ridiculous amount. And yeah, I just think that they should probably start the store. I probably wouldn't be as disappointed if they started with 256 gigabytes, in my opinion. Honor is no longer a part of Huawei. Yeah, that's some pretty good news. Pretty not good news. That's some pretty interesting news. Definitely. Like, I think that it's good that that Honor left Huawei, because I think they were kind of in a screwed situation. Honor would be like, even more screwed. But now I think Honor may have a chance. Like, Honor has actually been doing pretty well these last couple of years until, obviously this year and last year. Um, but in my opinion, I think if they can get if their phones are pretty good and they get Google services back, then I think people will start to buy them again, and people, people still buy like a lot of them. I mean, they're a huge company. They take about 20%, I think, of Huawei. So Huawei is like the biggest company in the world, basically. So it's about 20% of Huawei, which means it's still a huge company. So yeah, and I mean, yeah, maybe they could sell in the U.S. What would be super cool? What would be super cool is that one day I go into T-Mobile and I see all these different phones, like not just Samsung iPhones, OnePlus phone. Actually, OnePlus phones is the only like cool phones that are in the T-Mobile store or whatever, because I just think that there's like we just have the most boring brands in the US. I swear. Like, we have, okay, what are the main brands? I think Apple, Samsung, LG, and Motorola, and that's basically it. Like, that's basically the main brands, and then maybe OnePlus. That's the only like interesting brand that we actually surprisingly have in the US. Like, I don't know how OnePlus managed to, get into the US. It's like pretty surprising. I'm like, wow, that's I'm pretty impressed, like how they, are selling it T-Mobile, like a OnePlus phone, a Chinese brand. I'm surprised. And I know Huawei used to be on AT&T, I think, with a Huawei P20 Pro or Mate 20 Pro. Um, so if Honor gets into like carriers, that would be so cool. And Xiaomi phones, even though they're not going to do that, I just really wish that. Yeah, Nubia is in the U.S., I guess. Actually, they're a pretty interesting company, I guess. Nubia, yeah. They have, the Red Magic series, and they have some other things. Asus ROG series is actually really great. Like, I've actually been. That's the one phone that I've been looking into the most, like, these past couple of days. Like, that phone is really good. The Asus ROG Phone 3, there's literally like no compromises, basically. Like, the cameras are actually pretty good. Some people say that the cameras aren't that good, but it's just as good as probably like the OnePlus 8 Pro, or between the OnePlus 8T and the OnePlus 8 Pro. So I wouldn't be complaining. And yeah, I mean, yeah, and I guess blue phones, yeah, but the main things that are on U.S. carriers, like, I wish that, that there would be just a little bit more, like all these Chinese companies, I wish they just got into T-Mobile. Like, if you look at some of the European carriers, you will be so surprised. Like, Orange, I think it's called. Orange France, yeah. Here we go. Yeah. If you look at like what they have in France, like, it's it's crazy what kind of phones they have in France. It's so cool. Like the phones that they have in France, I'm not like complaining or anything like that. Like there's still a good amount of variety in the U.S. I'm not saying that there isn't a variety, because there is tons of variety, but I would say that there's a lot more variety in, you know, in like the EU and stuff like that. So if you look, yeah, you could see the major brands here are Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, and Oppo. Like that would be so cool if Xiaomi and Oppo went into a. I can't read any of this. Oh, here we go. Continue to the store. Can I just continue to the store? Yeah, so you could see. I mean, yeah, you could see all the different phones here. Like, okay, yeah, it's mostly iPhones. I think this is only iPhones here. I don't know why. But you get the point. I think you would get the point at least. So, yeah, I just wish... Oh, yeah, I remember HTC. HTC used to be such a great company, and now they are absolutely terrible with their new, you know, HTC Desire 20. I think it's Desire 20 and the U20. Like, those are really bad phones for the price. And just the phones that they've been releasing recently are just really not that good. They do make good VR headsets, though, so... I guess that's the one thing that's good about them, but they're not important in the U.S. anymore. Like, they used to be pretty big in the U.S., and I actually really like their old phones. Like, I really, probably one of my favorite phones is, like, the HTC One M8 and the One M9. I use those phones, like, all the time as my, you know, secondary phones and things like that. So, I'm just going to say, like, I was super impressed, um, you know, with the M8 and M9, like even in like 2019 or 2020, you know. So yeah, that's just my opinion, and I'm sure many of you agree with me that the HTC One M8 was probably the best, not the best phone. Probably the M7's the best phone, but I don't really like the M7, or it's just called the HTC One. HTC used to be so cool, and they made like really cool inventions, and they did mess up with their HTC One M9, but I still like the HTC One M9, so that's just my opinion. Um, and then there's some other things, like there's some other companies. Some other companies are like Sony. I wish they went into the carriers. Now they are available in the U.S., I believe, but they're not actually available like in carrier stores, I believe. That would be kind of cool. There's just so many other phones that, I mean, you could say, oh yeah, I wish, you know, I wish, blah 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 blah. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of wish there was a little bit more variety, but it's probably not going to happen. I don't think that Xiaomi would ever go into the, you know, U.S. markets like T-Mobile and AT&T and things like that. I don't even think, you know what's weird? I don't know why, but OnePlus, the only carrier that OnePlus isn't associated with right now, the only major carrier is AT&T. I don't know what's the deal between OnePlus and AT&T. If someone could tell me, I mean, I think they're on. I mean, I don't. Maybe they just don't trust OnePlus. I'm not really sure. Maybe they're like, nope, I'm not going to do that because of the Huawei thing. But you went 20 miles to find a Pixel 3a XL for $24 and it wasn't there. Oh my god, I feel so bad. Like the Pixel 3a, like for $24, that would be such a great deal. Was it like a scam? Was it like a scam? I don't know, but anyway, um, yeah. And then there's, I mean, there's tons of other things to talk about in the news. You know, um, I mean, there's like the Galaxy A series leaks, and like I said before, I'm probably not gonna be impressed with these new A series phones that are gonna come out in 2021. Um, Maybe I'll be wrong. Samsung, prove me wrong. Put a 90 hertz refresh rate or 120 hertz refresh rate in your A series. I don't think they're gonna do it though, and they're putting the Snapdragon 720 in the A72 4G, so I'm already not impressed. So I don't know. I wish they, you know, they put 90 hertz or 120, but they're not gonna do that for the A series. Oh, was a legit deal? Oh wow. Huh. Well, I mean, that's so. Then what happened? Oh, and what else is there? I mean, there's tons of, yeah, like I said, there's tons of other news that, you know, that is pretty interesting, but you know, I mean, I guess um some other news is like, I don't want to go political, so I'm not going to talk about that, even though that's yeah, but don't want to talk about that. I wonder what the oldest news is with the 2004. Yeah, that's wow. That's pretty funny. Like looking at the old news and stuff like that. Like, well, you sent a link. I don't see a link, but yeah. And also, guys, I have to go kind of soon. Um, basically, basically, like some of my family's coming home, so and I have to have dinner and stuff like that. So I might have to go in like 2 or 3 minutes, but things like that. Oh right, the you mean in the Discord? Oh, it's in this. Oh, I thought you meant it in the Discord because I thought someone sent me something. I don't know. It's in the spam filter. I don't know where you find the spam filter, but um, I cannot find it. Well, shoot, I think I hear my family. Coming. So, yeah, I will be ending this on like a minute or so. But if you could send me through the Discord, then I'll be able to see it. Yeah, there's tons of delay. Um, I don't know why there's so much delay. But anyways, guys, I have to kind of go, so I will maybe do a live stream maybe this weekend. And then, by the way, if you want to, you could send it me through Discord or something like that. So yeah.